Hello and welcome to a special episode of the Digital Music Source. I recorded this episode during the holiday season of 2018, and this special episode is dedicated to a quick walkthrough of the Handbells by Cinesamples. Now, Cinesamples is one of my favorite developers because their instruments sound amazing. They just sound realistic. They record their instruments at the MGM scoring stage in Los Angeles, so there's that history behind the libraries that they produce. But what I also like about their instruments is they're easy to use, the controls make sense, and they inspire you to do sometimes other things. In this case, this library actually inspired me to create an entire album based on the sounds of the library. Let's take a look and hear how it sounds, and then we'll do a brief walkthrough. So let's take a look at some of the controls you have over this instrument. You can transpose the bells up and down your keyboard by octave. You can adjust the stereo width. You can detune the bells. And one nice feature is that in addition to having the ability to adjust the attack, decay, sustain, and release of the sound, you can also lock that in place so that if you make other adjustments, those settings won't change. The bells feature different microphone positions, close, room, surround, and even the full mix. Let's hear what they sound like. I prefer the close microphone or the full mix for most of the recordings that I do with this instrument. Now, in addition to those mic positions, you have reverb, and you have different choices from the mixes that are included in the studio mix to things like a lush church or even a harp resonance. My favorite feature of the library is the Mix Presets button. When you click it, you are presented with a series of different presets that you can select to change the mix and ultimately the entire sound of the library. Here are some examples. If you want to make your bells sound dry and close, select this preset. Or, if you want a special effect, you might try the old radio preset for that retro sound. My favorite one of the presets is called Hype Hi-Fi. It's a pure, beautiful bell sound that works well in any mix. But wait, there's more. This library contains a special bonus instrument called sleigh bells. And just like the handbells, there's a preset list that you can use to change how the sleigh bells sound. As I said earlier in the video, this library is so inspirational that it made me do a special project. You see, many years ago, when I was beginning as an educator, I also worked as a church organist on weekends. One of the highlights of the year was playing all the Christmas masses at my church. Despite having trumpets and choirs and all kinds of other instruments, the one thing that people would always remember were the bells. For some reason, the sound of bells was very magical for people and made them think about the holidays. And that led to my special project. I wanted to create something that would make people think about those. So in 2017, I released my first album, A Christmas Celebration with Handbells and More. It featured the sound of the Cinesamples Handbells library on every track, along with many other virtual instruments. I was excited to release the album on CD Baby and iTunes and Amazon and all the other major online retailers. And it was amazing to feel like I was someone that could contribute to the professional community as a musician, even though my full-time job was really an educator. So I'm going to close this video by playing some of the tracks from the album so you can hear how the Handbells library is incorporated into the music. I wrote all the arrangements and recorded it over several weeks. I hope you enjoy listening to it, and I hope you enjoy this episode of The Digital Music Source.